Hello, everyone. This is Black American Indian, and I am coming to you live in regards to learning more about um, the indigenous group that I am connected to via my DNA sample. Um, that group of people, they're called Parapeche from the state of Michoacan. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please correct me. Um, they are indigenous to that region. The specific people that I apparently connect with are in the mountain area or the mountain region. Um, According to this one website, it says most of Parapecha Indians, sometimes referred to as Tarasco Indians, are from Michoacan. The Parapeche language is spoken by about 200,000 indigenous Mexicans. 75% of the Parapechas are bilingual, speaking both Spanish and Parapecha. They're also known as Tarascan people. 25% speak only Parapecha, which that's a lot. That's a lot of people that still speak an indigenous language. The Parapeche language is distinctly related to the Zuni Indians language from New Mexico and state in the U.S. Southwest. The Parapecha language is also related to the Quechua Aymara language of some South American Indian people. Now, again, I am close to indigenous groups in the southeast region of the US. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm connected to indigenous uh, people from Mexico. And I'm just trying to figure out if someone out there knows more about these people. If maybe a band traveled or migrated some time ago, maybe thousands of years ago, or whatever, to the southeast region of the U.S. I would really like to know more about these people. And thus far, I don't really have much information except for um, the information that I read of these people. They migrated to Southern California. There's a significant amount that lives in California now. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out um, more about these people. Um, Apparently, to me personally, their um, their regalia reminds me of Native Americans from the Virginia, North Carolina region, specifically Virginia. To me, their regalia kind of looks like the Monacan Nation or tribe or whatever of Virginia. Um, they are a band of so-called Indians or Native Americans that come from the Sapani Nation. So, and they live near the Appalachian Mountains in Virginia. Um, that's the only thing I really have to say about that tribe. But if you look at the spelling of the Michoacan state in Mexico in Monacan, if you just glance at it, it almost looks like Monacan, but you have to really look at it and be like, oh, okay, it's spelled differently. So the headgear, the regalia, to me, it looks very similar to the Monacan Nation of Virginia, or the Ghost Tribe, if you want to call it that, which I don't like to use that term. Um, but I'm just trying to figure out if there's a connection with indigenous populations in the southeast compared to Mexico's indigenous people. Any people out there that's familiar with these people, the Parapeche Indians, indigenous people, I would really appreciate more information about them. According to Wikipedia, um, They fought off the Aztecs. They were pretty much the Aztecs' um, opponents. They pretty much conquered the Aztec, or they never was conquered by the Aztec. So that's a big deal because the Aztecs were fierce. Okay, they were a fierce people back in the 13th century, according to Wikipedia. Um, let's see. What else can I find? But yeah, that's pretty much all I could find. Not much information on Wikipedia about the Parapachi people. Sorry, I should know how to pronounce this. I've been reading up on this for a long time, at least 2 weeks, and I should be able to pronounce it, but I'm still struggling. But yeah, so yeah, they're also known as the Tarascans people, not nation. I was told that nation is inaccurate or the wrong terminology for Latin America. So they're considered people, not nations. So I wanted just to clarify that. But yeah, I would like to know more about those folks. And I was looking at Black and Latin America, and actually one of the YouTubers had mentioned I should check it out. Forgot your name, I apologize. But I spent several hours watching the videos on PBS.com because they have the full-length episodes of that series. And I'm still like just blown away. I mean, really. I mean, I knew about Brazil as far as having a heavy African influence there, and Cuba, and Haiti or whatever, Dominican Republic. But Mexico, huh? I'm like, okay, how in the world did that work? But according to Professor Gates and his, he's very Afrocentric, and I do appreciate his studies and his interviews and things of that nature. But again, it says Black and Latin America, meaning, okay, let's just only focus on the Black and not really focus on the other aspects of a culture or of a people. So again, I appreciate his documentary, but let me take it back. Black in America, or African American lives, or whatever you want to call it, where he pretty much said that out of 20 people, only one person has significant Native American blood, and everyone else that had the so-called high cheekbones and, different hair, loose curls, if you want to say, or, just white features, if you want to say, did not necessarily mean that that person would have significant Native American ancestry. More than likely, it probably was a European ancestor or two, whatever. He did say 1 out of 20, so he didn't eliminate everybody with black blood. He didn't eliminate everybody, but he made it seem like he made it seem very doubtful that people like me exist in the U.S. But yet, when he went to Latin America, he did a documentary specifically with Black folks in Mexico. To me, most of those folks there look like regular Mexicans, be it, the indigenous population mixing with the Spaniards. Pretty much what you get today, the mestizo people. After I've done more research on that, now I know what that means. It's indigenous and Spanish people mixed together to make a regional population or whatever. But when he did his documentary on the Black people there, I'm looking at them and I'm like, they don't look like typical black people. They look more Mexican um, than regular mixed black folks. And when I say mixed black folks, meaning, you know, the curly hair. Um, Not necessarily the darker skin, because it's different shades of black folks, because, you know, they have a different degree of mixing. But as far as the hair texture, that's kind of a dead giveaway. Curly, kinky, whatever. But most of those black Mexicans or black mestizo people, whatever, to me look like regular Mexicans. They just had darker skin. Um, but of course, these people, he did acknowledge that they have significant Indigenous American ancestry. So it kind of like, it set me back a little bit, because it's like, based on my DNA results, it's like, okay, well, based on our database, the Native American significant ancestry that you have will have to come through Mexico or South America, whatever like that, to prove that you have a significant amount of Native American blood. So I'm like, okay, so you mean to tell me people from Mexico that have black blood, then they can say, hey, yeah, we also have Native American ancestry, and it's not questioned. You see what I'm saying? Versus the US. So that kind of took me back too. It's like, again, based on my results, it's like, okay, Mexico is popping up as indigenous blood, significant. So you're saying I can't be from the Southeast and have significant Native American ancestry, so you just put on my report, hey, you have indigenous Native American ancestry, but we feel more comfortable focusing on Mexico. I don't know. I may be way off. But kind of that's what I'm getting, like, from the documentary with Professor Gates to my DNA results, that I have a significant indigenous ancestry based on my markers, and it's tied to Mexico versus Southeast US. I'm still kind of a little confused by that. No one in my family that I know of has a Latin American background. I've been mistaken for being Hispanic, and I always said, no, Native American, that's what you're seeing. But yeah, I'm like, okay, so is that what Professor Gates and others are getting to? Are they getting to, or trying to get to, that if a black person with significant Native American ancestry, it must be coming from Latin America and not the US? I don't know. But like I said, I don't know how in the world Latin America got into the mix, but that's what my results came up as. Somebody the other day said, you may want to take another test or get another opinion, or I forgot the name of the email, but it was specifically for Native American ancestry. She said they could probably help to narrow it down even more. But yeah, for me to have my connection with only Latin America, when you're talking about Indigenous Americans, versus here in my own state, my home, the region I'm from, as far as at least my great grandparents, where they're from, something's not adding up. Now, I'm not going to deny that I, don't have Latin American, indigenous, or whatever ancestry, but I'm from the Southeast, and my ancestors are two or three generations back, so, but blessings.